lot of watermen I looked up to. That was a great experience. It got me really immersed into the Hawaiian culture, just like the flying the tours I'd done. And so that was a great time in my life. All good people, met all good people. And, you know, doing things like that. Eventually, when it came time to leave, you know, I'm talking 90, so imagine when it came time to leave in 2021, I had been doing all that stuff for 25 years. I mean, some of my friends had passed away. Some of my friends had heart problems, so they couldn't do it anymore. And so for me, when I left, I said, hey, you know, it's quit while you're ahead. I mean, and now that I'm here, I don't miss it. I probably couldn't do it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I had been doing it, I wouldn't have listened to the signs of the heart. I probably would have died in the middle of the ocean. So everything was at the right time.
Mm-hmm. How many, can you, what, like the Molokai? What is that? And how do you?
Oh, you just paddle from the west coast of Molokai to the east coast of Oahu. It's a 32-mile paddle, open ocean. Everybody has an escort boat. First time I did it, there were 18-foot swells. John was in the boat. He was like 12, and he was just couldn't believe it that I was in the middle of the ocean in this little stick of a kayak. I fell 2 or 3 times, and you know, you never know what's underneath. There's like 3,000 feet under you. Anything could be underneath. It was pretty tough, but I did it. And I think
You were glad you did it?
Yeah, I was proud of that. And
how long did it take you?
my friend Kala and everybody was worried because I did it my first year training, but I trained, I was ready for it. It took me 5.5 hours.
How much training did you do for it?
I would do, I would train about 60 miles a week of paddling. Later, I would train 40 miles a week of paddleboarding too. So I spent a lot of time in the water. That's why I don't miss it, because all I have to do is close my eyes and I know I feel myself there. It's not it's not like something you did once or twice. It's something that was just part of my life on a daily basis. Everybody knew me, you know, they knew I'd run into people in the middle of the ocean. We'd run into each other. I would paddle with the dolphins. I would, you know, see the whales. It was just awesome. I mean, every experience you could have thought of, I had. Swam in the ocean from one point to another, open ocean races, with the lifeguard races.
The North Shore, yeah, the water.
Yeah, you know, and the King's race. I was even a professional lifeguard racing guy. Even made some money on it. So yeah, so I mean, everywhere in Waimea Bay, Sunset Beach, Pipeline,
Ala Moana Beach Park.
Turtle Bay, Ala Moana, Waikiki.
Favorite
Hawaii
places
Kai.
or all of them? Just
all the ones
something.
I named. My favorite paddle was in the summer. I would start at Sunset Beach. I would paddle on my paddleboard. I would paddle 2.5 miles to Waimea, past Pipeline all the way to Waimea, past Sharks Cove, all that, and then turn around in Waimea and paddle right back. So I would do like a 5-6 mile paddle with the current, against the current. It would take me about an hour and a half. Awesome. In the summer, it was just beautiful. You know, one of my favorite. That would be my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
And you do
and Waikiki. Waikiki, starting at the Hilton, going all the way to Black Point and back. That was my second favorite. Those two were my favorite for all my life. Those are my favorite activities. Either on the surf ski or on the paddleboard.
And you would also run too, do other, besides being in the ocean, to train for them, or no?
Yeah, I did running, a lot of running.
How many marathons have you done?
31, including the Ironman.
The first one was like Honolulu Marathon. Did you do other marathons besides Honolulu?
Before I started doing Ironman, I did Ironman at 190 pounds. Before that, I was 176 pounds because I was running so much and I was super fast. And I went and I did a marathon in Florida where I broke 3 hours.
Was that your first?
That was my first, but and my fastest. That was the only time I ever broke 3 hours. I did 2:55, I think it was.
How old were you?
This was in '83, so I was 31. I was running like 17 miles a day. No, 11 miles a day, 17K a day, a lot. And I was thin. I was 176 pounds. The same. That was my college weight when I was 16, 17 years old. But it was great. And then when I started doing Ironman, I started, swimming and beefing up, and I went up to about 190. So I think I did all my Ironman around 187, 190. Right now I'm 200, so it's good enough.
And so the marathons in the Ironman were about usually what times?
Usually 4 hours, 4.5 hours.
And then you did Honolulu Marathon?
A lot of those. I did let me see, I did one in Caracas. I forget which one. I did a whole bunch in Maui. I did 3 or 4 in Maui. And then the rest were Honolulu marathons and the Ironman ones.
Mm-hmm.
So 10, 11 in the Ironman, 3 or 4 in Maui, that's 15. The one in Caracas, the one in Florida, that's 17. And yeah, about 14 Honolulu marathons. Yeah, that's about right.
So even when you were doing water sports, you were still keeping up with running? And...
Yeah, I ran till 2010, I think.
Mm.
So I started doing the marathon, Honolulu Marathon when we moved. So in '87 till about 2001 around there, and the ones in Maui. I'm just trying to think if there was any other. There might be something else there that I just don't remember.
Like in New York or Boston or any.
No,
mainland?
I didn't do any of those.
Mm. And why did you like doing the marathon, or do you like running?
No, I love running, but I can't run anymore. But I have about 130,000 miles on my knees right now. But it was fun. It was just a mental thing. I like the mental toughness of the challenge of it. You get ready and then you just pace yourself. They were all negative splits. I always ran negative splits.
What does that mean?
I saved my strength for the end. I was always faster the second half than the first half. So I passed a lot of people. All these rabbits that take off fast, I would catch up to them and pass them. So, yep.
Is there any marathon that stands out? Anything happen?
No, the first one was my best one.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. I mean, because of the time. But I love the ones in Maui where you see the whales in the water. You run with the whales.
And what are the Honolulu ones like? Like, is there the people?
Too many
the area?
people. I didn't enjoy them. I think I did it because you felt you had to.
Mm-hmm.
I did a couple that I didn't even register. I just went out with your mom and ran with her.
You registered me and John that one time.
Yeah.
And then last question for today. What about paddling? Why did you start canoe paddling?
Oh, you started paddling. Remember, you stopped swimming. You went into paddling.
I was doing both.
Oh yeah, okay.
My freshman year of high school, I started paddling, but I would go after swim practice on my bike.
But I mean, at the end, you were just paddling. Senior year.
After,
when you won states, you were only paddling, right?
No, I did swimming all the way till the end. Yeah.
Okay. I thought the last year you were just paddling. Anyway, so we would go to your regattas and stuff, and then one day, I don't know, I just said, hey, let me try it. And I got involved with it. And that's where I met Kala. Who's
Kala?
Kala was the coach for the canoe team, but he became more like a mentor for me, with the surf ski and just the lifestyle. He was an awesome waterman. So he was like my role model. And I started with the novice guys, but they were all always in fighting and who's pulling their weight and who's doing that. So I asked him if he would put me in the boat with the my age, which were a lot more experienced. But once I did the Molokai, he felt I could be part of the crew. So
You did a Molokai with the team?
no, but I would race regattas with
Mm-hmm.
what were they called? The junior masters.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, remember it was Kala, it was Bruce Blankenfeld, um, Noah Thompson, what do you call it? Rocky Higgins, Matt Higgins, Daryl Hara, all these, and George Kistner.
From the, what is the Hokulea, right?
Yeah, some of these from the Hokulea, yeah. So we got all, you know, that was our crew, and it was awesome. Of course, I didn't get to race that much, but it was fine. I was fine. I was never big on racing. I was more big on working out.
This is a team sport. You usually do solo sports. How did you like it?
Well, that's why as soon as I discovered the surf ski, I went all in because I was again my kind of style.
Mm-hmm.
I even tried canoe sailing. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. The only thing I didn't like is that the preparation took longer than the sailing, so it was kind of boring. But I did it. Yeah, I did it for one season.
And stand-up paddle?
No, I never did that.
Or no, not stand-up. You did
Prone paddleboarding.
Mm-hmm.
Traditional, yeah.
You would do a lot.
That was my favorite because that was like swimming fast.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like being able to swim again and do fast stuff. I did a lot of that.
Like how many hours or miles a week?
I would put in 40 miles a week.
Mm-hmm.
I would go out for 2 hours every 5 times a week. So 10 hours. And in 10 hours you do 5 miles, 50 miles, 40, 50 miles. Yep.
And then you did speed walking for a while too.
Yeah, when I couldn't run anymore, I started race walking, more as an exercise than anything. And now I don't. Now what I do is I row on the gym, and I row pretty fast. I've got some.
How fast?
I got world-class times in the 2000 for my age group. So I'm fine.
How much time do you do on the rowing?
I do about 4 to 5 times a week, hour 15 each. And this Saturday I got to start.
Really?
Yep.
That's great.
The doctor cleared me. The doctor was so happy when my goal was to walk in there as if I looked just like a normal guy, and I did. And when he saw me, he was so happy. And when I told him I've been going to work and to the gym, he just, because I'm sure that a lot of people say they're going to do it and then they don't, and then it's worse. But he saw that everything I told him was true, and he was really happy. You could tell he was happy. That made me even happier. And then the other doctor walked in and said, well, just one more week and then you're cleared with everything. No more restrictions of any kind. Yeah, that's a big deal. The only thing I can't do is go in a pool, swim for 2 more months. But that's fine because that'll take me till May. So.
And then you can you walk in the pool?
Well, I'll walk up to my waist.
Do that. Okay.
Just they don't want the chlorine and the cut and whatever. But I can go up to my waist, so I can walk right there in the shallow end of the pool.
Okay.
I'll probably do that.
Okay.